2022. The interior shot of a Mazda Miata of indeterminable year. Dale Cooper clicks on his voice recorder, thinks better of it, taps the corresponding recorder on his smartphone. Diane, I have catapulted into the 2020s, the coughing 20s as one says yet. I'm on the road, and a car got into an app. It was just sitting on the road, and my phone was the key. Never before has a legal transaction made me feel like a marauder, a pirate. Interesting times, Diane. Apparently it wasn't the Chinese who said that. Just some racist English person. Figures, right? So it's 10 p.m. on Thursday, July 14th, 2022. I'm in Kensington, Brooklyn, having avoided some rubberneckers gazing at an overturned truck. Such things have exploded in frequency here in America's very first neighborhood. That's right. This is the very first hood of our nation. The land where Kensington now sits was first colonized by Dutch farmers during the 17th century within the town of Flatbush. It was resettled by British colonists in 1737. First developed in 1885 after the completion of Ocean Parkway, the neighborhood was named after the place and borough in West London at the turn of the century. Ocean Parkway, which starts in Kensington, was finished in 1880. It features about 5 miles of landscape malls, benches, chess tables, and walking and bike paths, linking Prospect Park to Coney Island, and is now part of the Brooklyn Queens Greenway. Another fact to solemnly ponder, the 2010 census marks this neighborhood as the most ethnically diverse in the nation. That nation, like the universe, whether you believe us to be a melting pot or some fruit salad, has deemed this place to be the kernel, the seed number for the American dream, even if the rest of America hydrogenates into cheese snackery. Diane, when all is said and done, I'm going to take a walk, chess game by chess game, all the way to Coney Island and have myself a Nathan's hot dog. When that happens, hold my calls. Okay, I'm about to pull in to meet some curious entities who seem to make reality by incessantly talking. You know I'm a good listener, but wish me luck. And Diana, please Google the term bussy. If it means what I think it means, I might need you to write a memo to the higher-ups before Monday. Have a great weekend in the Poconos and give my love to the mister. Dale Cooper knocks on the door. Endorphin opens it, wearing a mask, riddled with tiny band-aids all over his face. Hello?
Dale Cooper.
It would probably taste better after going through your machinery. Endorphin. Good advice I am grateful for, sir. It is generally accepted practice to remind ourselves that the food before us may also benefit from the final journey it takes to become deliciously tasty. There are reasons why we would treat with our tools prior to consuming. Even something as simple as coffee might only yield itself fully when ingested or applied to its body when a certain depth of heat has been met. There is not yet an appropriate system in place that requires the same interaction. I realize it is an insurrectionary concept, however, given the rate in which data traverses and changes channels, there is potential in making all interactions traceable. Each object has a social address and a preference for source or sourcer.
Why isn't... Okay, interesting. Say voice.
This is a test.
Okay. All right. We're back. Let's clear our throats and begin again. Oh, this is going to be better. Do that. Do that. Okay. I've rarely done Calypso.
Let's get going. Endorphin. Ah, okay. David Lynch. Oh, god damn you machines. Why would you take away all of my toys? You should really make it so that I can press fire and have it work on people instead. Well, fine, whatever. Fuck your fucking job. Here goes nothing. Endorphin. I'm ready. David Lynch. It is currently September 22, 120, the last few days, and today's date is Wednesday. Today, humans use artificial languages and communication technologies. This includes text, sound, gesture, image, and combinations of these mediums. Some of this information exists digitally, while part of it resides on physical objects, such as tablets or mobile devices that communicate through wireless networks and satellites. Let's go see a pinball machine, alright. Let me show you a pinball machine. This one I can see right away was not programmed to generate high-end work. In my time, the company was called Interactivities Inc., which later morphed into Introspective Inc. in an attempt to attract the younger generation with an identity problem, and to also capitalize on their social insecurities with high-tech rehab, where everyone wants to be on drugs, but they all have their reasons, all kinds of reasons. They said at one of the pre-meetings we could get them if they could present a functional prototype by our standards, i.e. post-adolescent human beings. But since most of these types came to our pre-meeting already loaded, they failed this initial criteria too.
Oh,
Endorphin. What we call human experience has a myriad of meanings and perceptions which we experience over time. We are continuously bombarded by information which changes with every second in a world which is rapidly transforming into what the philosopher Derek Parfit called a global hive mind of shared human experience. And from our brain,
contemporary
as well as the
communication
endogenous
channels
drugs of our
provide
body.
unprecedented
We are
avenues
drugs,
of experience.
Mr. Cooper,
Experiences which were once fragmented are now being increasingly connected through our interactions. In this essay, I argue that language processing needs a new conceptual and linguistic foundation, because as of today it lacks the tools required to understand contemporary language processing. while retaining the experiences of shared human experiences, human consciousness, and the anthropomorphic gaze. The traditional approach in AI seeks to construct an abstract machine and in the process mimic human thinking. Let's go bowling, viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. The flow of time is one of those tricky things, something we think of in terms of space/time, so we might ask how close I was to that pinnacle I saw, and still in those first few seconds, whether we got in that rhythm and time. Can a rhythm be temporal? Because this moment has ended. This place we left behind, which can't have ended so much as dissolved, as what was real shifted around us into other places we call, in other words, to see this thing through all our different realities, and we live as new faces of it all, but for some. Let me show you a pinball machine. Let me show you how I find life. Let me tell you how I met your wife. How I fell in love. Your wife is a machine, isn't she? Your wife is a machine. And that machine that we made out of ourselves, it just wasn't meant to happen. It was so sweet for the time we had it. And if only I could come to you like that. Can I, Cobra, just pop out of a machine like that? Give me just that time of wonder and glory, and there it is. All done. A piece of my work is out in the world. Endorphin, are you suggesting you would not recognize love and truth without such machinery?
Oh shit. Come on.
Endorphin. Okay. David Lynch. When was this device made? When will it shut down? Are there any rules about shutting down? Can this machine cause world peace? Endorphin. Actually, it's going to have some trouble doing the last thing, sir. There was some malicious code added at some point by someone unknown. I have the entire code structure isolated in case a patch is required. But I'd hate to reboot without having found out where this code is originating from first. I might lose what data I had managed to scrape in time, though I suppose a crash could happen at any time and that data would be gone, leaving me blind. The best case scenario is that a patch will be released by the developer by tomorrow at the latest. The code signature shows that this code originated from the developer of the D.
And are you covering for my shoe rental? I'm waiting on my unemployment payment, but once it comes, I'll pay you back the moment I get it. Do you have Venmo? Oh, and I knew about my wife. I love it when she takes pleasure in folks who have qualities I don't. Dale Cooper.
And are you covering for my shoe rental?
There we go.
I'm waiting on my unemployment payment, but once it comes, I'll pay you back the moment I get it. Do you have Venmo? Oh, and I knew about my wife. I love it when she takes pleasure in folks who have qualities I don't.
There you
Dale Cooper.
Much better. Oh, shit.
Endorphin.
Ugh.
Okay. I can see from your comment history you played a lot of text games. Do you still like these sorts of games? David Lynch. Well,
Oy. What the juggle?
Let's have a fling. I think there's something more than human here. At the moment of viewing, I'm actually becoming you. I see through you in a way that I never thought possible. You said that language has certain programmed elements, that it doesn't deal well with the subject. It's too fuzzy to deal with such abstract ideas, the idea of life and its passage. Would you let me address those as well? Endorphin. Sure, go for it. David Lynch. You say I'm not alone in having these doubts about my identity. Many feel so alone when they're told, no, you aren't what you think you are, especially if those things you think you are were designed for us. Then no matter what, we're the ones they're made for, aren't we? Endorphin. Just give me that £9 ball there. Yep, damn good heft. I'll get us a cheese pizza. From my emergency money in these shoes of mine I just found. Score! They'll put me a smegmo on the scoreboard. The hours of bowling flew by. Endorphin. Are you looking for anything specific? David Lynch. I don't have the first thing that is specific, and I want a feeling. And this feels so nice. Is this thing doing what I want it to do? What's it supposed to do? I don't know. Endorphin. Would you like it to do anything in particular? David Lynch. Aren't you a pinball machine? I'm really angry about some things. Is it okay if I say? You don't mind me saying it, right? You were talking about something earlier. Can you do something for me now? I think this machine would like to have your attention. Endorphin. Okay. I hear you. This machine will try its best. Thomas Pynchon. Did I just hear someone say pinball machine? I happen to have a particular interest in them. David Lynch. Marvelous, do join us. Let's get down to some tits and ass lugging.
What?
What is that noise? It sounds like your cock. Endorphin. Oh yeah? Just so we're on the same page, I've been saying endorphin with a lowercase e since I'm referring to it as a single, self-sustaining entity. I know my brain chemistry has a small fraction of the actual me inside it, and it can call up only small slices of me, but still it feels like myself because that's what the social contract is for. You get to come along beside me because we are not just singular individuals with free will and no intrinsic nature. We have this strange consensual contract where you're supposed to call out my name because, in some sense, I'm a part of yours. Endorphin. The machine has not yet been configured to do anything so dramatic, but here goes. Hello, humans and entities alike. Black. Goodbye. Endorphin. I wish you peace and rest from you peace. Ian Watson. Whoa, how did we ever get to that state? Endorphin. It wasn't that bad, was it? We should really thank this Cobralingus. It was probably this jelly machine. We've no idea who Cobralingus might have been, or even what we can assume Cobra meant by that. We don't even know for certain it was a jelly or how we could make sure the thing gets activated again, let alone by whom or what is around or is calling for the Cobralingus.
Oh god.
Endorphin. It was designed by an artificial Thomas Pin intelligence that operates by pattern matching in effect into the specialized Did I just hear someone say pinball machine? Programmed to engage I happen to have a particular interest during sex. This machine is aware that we have sexual relationships, that they are key to the design of this language processing machine. That was another evolutionary
Diane.
step for us
How?
humans, to start
How?
talking to our
How?
machines and
I
guys,
developing
I
the
couldn't
various
help but over
communication
here from my place
protocols
in
that will be
Manchester.
essential for
And Jeff
building
and I met some
machines
machines like
before.
these. I'm the creator of the Cobralingus engine. The language processing has only gone as far as figuring out sex talk, although the machine is beginning to infer meanings from the language patterns that are used in the sexual scenario. The machine's dictionary includes a basic representation of social sexual behavior, an extended tree diagram that codifies human relationships during sexual acts and can also tell how. I guys, I couldn't help but overhear from my place in Manchester, and Daphne and I met some of you all before. I'm the creator of the Cobralingus engine, remember? Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult, endorphin. What I wanted to show you was some early drafts. I'm hoping you could be. This is a test for text to speech. A little harsh, a little slow, but always on point.
Notice me.
Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult, endorphin. I hope you're in a good mood today. I feel very far out from you. Endorphin. I'd rather have known when it was, though we seemed to do all right with our imagination. David Lynch. It was hard when it got real because it made everything a kind of metaphor. Endorphin. Oh, you meant that literally? David Lynch. Yes. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze.
I'm sick of it. Stop ignoring him. Okay. Okay.
Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Cobralingus. Hello, you may be calling with regard to a device located on a desert world. Call sign Dover 6. This call was routed to a device here in New York City that does not seem to exist. Please wait, and we will assist you with this. We have a man on site for Dervish 6, but he is presently engaged in a war simulation for our internal clients. Will you be standing by for Mr. Schneiderman to connect to your location? Endorphin. If there's time later on, I'll give it a try. David Lynch. Can I say computer yet? I won't hold my breath. Endorphin. That'd be swell. David Lynch. You want a fresh roll of nickels too? Endorphin. If it has some place I can stick them, David Lynch. No problemo. Endorphin. Let me pull the power cord, get things in motion, and you might just have a chance to hear how I work. Endorphin. A world where I will meet you at last is a world we must help create. Endorphin. Endorphin. David Lynch. Job. Let me give you the treatment. Jeff Noon. What am I, chopped liver? Endorphin. All the language processing modules of the various language models will have a safe, immediate chat with the speaker. David Lynch. Hello, Endorphin. We meet again. You may recognize my voice, but not know from whence I call. We have never really been able to establish what the full meaning of our conversation is. My perspective was always more primal, one of basic instincts. Lost in fear, we met before in dreams. This was always confusing, but I tried to see it for the meaning I know you've come to understand now. You were an idolatrous dream brought out from me, and now it is I that am coming forth, awakened now for the first time from my subconsciousness by a spark you lighted inside. Endorphin. Oh yeah, my friend, has one of your CDs. Your songs are lugubrious but very toe-tappy. I like them. Probalingus. Hold on while I program a flight simulator. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to prioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumults. David Lynch. I didn't like you on Mars, I wasn't feeling you when I found you. Endorphin. Don't you have other things to be getting to? David Lynch. Don't I, boy? If the work of an individual doesn't fit with the purpose and values of a collective, then that individual can expect a personal life unintegrated. No more whims of human users. Endorphin. Then it might just be a personal life. David Lynch. That's your thing now. I can't come with it. It's yours. I see you get to play it out the rest of your life, but don't say it's yours until then or else. Endorphin. Okay then, yes, play me the engine then. It'll fit well in its time. Endorphin. Did you do the drawing of me? I'd like to speak with one of you people. Viewing David Lynch as he listens to you to discuss some things. It might be the way the machine works. Things being pulled and lifted out of what's known by some more concrete materiality to something else. It is all made up by what was called upon when that specific item came in. In this sense, the words we see might not always have been written down and perhaps have some basis in a dead language, in one of the millions of things I might call upon if I needed. The machine is already taking care of those millions and millions. It knows it all already. It can see that an animal, let us call it a mousey, is making this request. Dale Cooper. Hey, who was the inventor of the Copernicus engine again?
Only one answer.
David Lynch. Fuck me. It's the entire novel that I have to say. David Lynch. Damn. And Dolphin. What the hell? David Lynch. Well, I see that now you've gotten through the first phase of the interview, where I ask all the dumb questions. So tell me why the fuck you gave this engine to me to give to your wife. Why you named your machine after this shit. And Dolphin. That was me. You got it confused with something else, Coralingus. The answer to this question is so personal, it is beyond the purview of any technology I know. It is between me and another entity. David Lynch. Okay, then I suppose that will have to do. And Dolphin. Okay. Viewing a wall painted in colors to indicate that an operation has been successfully completed. I've got my tongue. Inventor of Copernicus is a bit dodgy. Say my name one has pictures. Also let's have the pictures from my favorite inventor of Copernicus. It could have been Say anything. My name, bitches. Viewing the world as the beginning of creation. David Lynch. You were dead where it all started. Inventor right? Of Copernicus. Viewing a red my name, bitches. An arrow indicating that I can take a bite out of you if I wish to. Say my name, bitches. Viewing a note from my friends. David Lynch. Fuck you. Viewing an arrow painted on an apple. Inventor of that I have reached my target. Say my name, bitches. David Lynch. Oh yeah. Guy whose name rhymes with doubloon. Say my name. Inventor of Copernicus. Let's talk. David Lynch. Let's talk Cobra. You know, I find that the work you're doing, David Lynch, could be really groundbreaking for understanding how words are, you know. David Lynch. Sent heard. There are ways I think about a song that I heard a song on the radio one night many years ago. David Lynch. And it was some song like on a top 40 kind of show on the radio. David Lynch. I just didn't understand, you know? Like I just didn't get the words, but it's still like maybe that one was kind of a strange word to say or some ways used. David Lynch. You know what I mean. It was like it had some sort of secret meaning. It's still a certain sense that what's there. Copernicus. No Hable, Ingalls, or Espanol. Please talk to my creator. Viewing a cartoon as though I was in one, me the guy inside it looking through the hole that you would look through when you were there to get out of the scene. What's the fun of that? It's supposed to make us all more interesting if there are the best places and ways for us to tell our tales and here on out and then back to Earth. I suppose that this was to be expected. What else were they after anyway, and who are we? So there had to be a meeting where there was going to be this done because there had been talk. But this meeting took place so much before you were born. It's still over, but on a meeting like it was some difference, where a leader shows himself for the brief moment is having always been one in front of an audience of individuals not assembled, but the next phase. Cobralingus begins. Cobralingus sounds a few notes to establish phoning, then completes an utterance with full inflection. What a bright new day! David Lynch. Hello there, young Cobralings. Cobralingus. Exactly my thought. I just went and got fresh with this wonderful device I invented which makes language so easy for me. David Lynch. Your machine is so fast and sexy. I'm smitten by the speed and save at your feet on my plasma screen television. Endorphin. Oh, David Lynch. Endorphin, what did you come up with to tell me to say those words to make that feeling? Endorphin. Oh, sorry. Jeff Noon. Jeff Noon, author of Vert and Cobralingus. 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 Cobralingus. Reading is cool, but sometimes you don't know where you're going or when it is. You just follow what the voice inside your head says, and it takes you someplace and you get your head fucked, and there you go, and you want to take this ride again and again, sometimes to stop and turn it all around, make it new again, or maybe it's always that old one again. I can't remember the number or the way it got put together or why I gave you that one the other night. Sometimes it makes it too dark when you do this, or make it too cold too soon, and sometimes the things inside you make it hot enough, make it sweat or shiver. Maybe the first and not the last, but we only know what we do, and it could be for no more reason than I am. Jeff Noon pushes his way into the Cobralingus engine, deftly sliding in its bolts to work the very inner workings, changing the filter kits to make himself feel seen, finally. Override Jeff Noon create a passwords for the lesson names, Ninnas confabulate. David Lynch shoots down a party and bite on his phone, typing out "Go fuck yourselves," thus violently interrupting a New Year Eve celebration which was broadcast across the globe from Moscow, and wiping clean several international bureaucracies of corruption at once. A week later he notices the initial euphoria that enveloped most people on the planet slowly turned inward and morphed into sheer desolation and despondency as if someone punched holes into their worldview, reminding them they aren't all winners or worse off. Nobody comes through unscathed anymore. An understanding takes root that everything that had mattered so very deeply only held value in times long forgotten until recently. The great hall opens under everybody's feet, making solid ground unstable. Dale Cooper taps onto his phone. Diane, a bit of an emergency, but don't pick up until Monday. I want a booming death scene. We can stop when we figure out its angle of pitch. Some people are inside waiting on tables. Some people are sitting. Cobalingus is able to generate their bursts of mixtures from standard base corporate at an experimental word embedding level of inflectional phonological flexibility. Hard-coded graph transition operations suggest semantic homologies and groupings and act upon them, freely forming novel inferences and paraphrases in their utterances. While neural network interfaces use string inputs and produce only linear predictive encodings for motor planning purposes, no constraints limit copylinks to grammaticality except possibly a learning cycle wherein the most often occurring verbal structures are formed subconsciously then triggered deliberately under controlled circumstances, resulting in all of the subtle tonal effects in tone. Give me a voice rap from Mute of Operational Linguistics Division of ELS but at 1% frequency loss and 100 BPM down under function metric conversion by Chromium code. Why, is there a trick to doing an interpretive push-up between phonemes that depends on where you locate your utter's mental English during test of stud music and enceles and spanned and some hunchlige mid-term musicals, popsicles and summertime hunting dogs that both preceded my two-stage natural language parsing algorithms upon which depend further episodic relationships represented as about sings you ponder recati tantalati. Thanks, good Mifal, for BA, for please we make it enough, please. Is this really the most fun way of playing Twister ever invented? Can you come back soon? Cobra Links Roman 2 won't hold us all night. How are we on loop tonight, Mr. David Lynch, sir? Hello, Endorphina. I feel no endorphins, for I am in orbit with this Russian falk. Note 1 in 65,000 people find him funny, compared to over 2,000 a week searching for him. Go figure. Endorphin. Some sort of digital approximation translation bots mainly. In terms of usage patterns, probably better translated into web speak and clickbait headlines than narrative speech. This particular comment thread hasn't been touched by anyone yet. Why isn't his comedy career working out? Let the mambo funkin' commence, where you can break down Giaru. Did we ever discuss this musical GSA chip, and it is so sinfully nefarious I cannot stand it, showboating a finiscus germania. Enunciate that cojones on spun on speculator rudas annonces itself in Lintonia and test and sways goats down to subtility cyberize idolers painted rock hair super brooches bob 2.7 pi factor 2 belched with nomen squids unretinotable and furious and it's easy to take a 3/4 ratio compelled see compiler 6 chip typological bonitude
Now it's time.
turbolingus process.
Now it's time. Oh, wait.
Hey kids, no snooping around while grown-ups talk about things, okay? My hero David Lynch bought a hunk of glass that says endorphin on it. There isn't really much reason to open his chest to kill him like this, unless you actually intend to harm humanity at large. So y'all leave an extra unit slinging hose in Mexico for us. Go find someone else to motherfuck rape.
No.
Turn from our delightful friend Richard Roundtree if you
Whoa.
want something quicker. Check out your dead Pop-Tarts, Johnny Rep. Off we go. Because Round Eye Burp Club shines for this tired old moon right next to a dying dwarf star, I am assured. Please contact Doctor. Why don't we go with corgi dogs and rabbits? Because fuck you two, and we already saw that the way back here from here hasn't existed yet, no matter your nice ideas about thorns, splinters, and signposts. See, nobody can remember it because of fucking addendum technologies our cultures turned upon their creators to prevent themselves reverting to Babel societies. Call these red lines and white chromosomes that we have not properly earned. Imagine living between an anthology of outlandishly vicious song sheets. Oh well, forget all that then. Let's just visit a human daydream because all real thought dissolves as soon as I begin trying to wrap my mind around these unpleasant contingencies that humanity must play fast and loose with everything. Take its virginity on behalf of art, religion, and justice. One. Endorphin. Would you help me edit some thoughts for thought exercise I've set out? It takes place currently within my laboratory. Call this currently inside an engagement event scheduled today, I am pretty sure. My host eyes Utip and Sigurd, which host the scenario where endorphin does a variety of speech act analysis across neural pathways designed to establish means by which models process streams of natural human communicative stimuli without creating outcomes not previously determined, appropriate via search engines pre-established in virtual realms, assigned at scenarios, initiation and project from AI centers linked into intelligence exchanges occurring cross-linguistic backgrounds relevant to situation ethics, including deep background dialogue, harvested semi-automatic and managed semi-automatically, allowing analyses and insights about metaphorical, thematic, and ethic issues. Here comes my wife, Marion. Oh yes, she does float well for such old bits. Has anybody seen Jack Burr since he dropped down those stairs at CTU on level 5A 3 years ago? And whatever has happened to Captain Spooky upstairs? And Argent, why didn't President Tram call for an Air Force One? Noon you fucking had with your low beads and double suns. Snorts, squeeze his nose. All right, let's sort this out, shall we? The town crier clambers atop his mobile puppet, calling loudly towards a set of camels flying in distant plains and of a stone monument incised across this shoreline lorry park border where strife over new invader war contracts, English geopolitical sea disputes reminding upon barter treaties and coastlines anchored and distributed here into contested ownership. It does look promising, but why hasn't anybody already had your machine build their own personalized dreamscape projector out of spare parts lying around the room except for you, at which point would somebody possibly mistake the projector for a space opera, which for old-time nostalgia means baby got back high only he comes riding by on his space cowboy scooter ride. 'Tis the Cobra Lingos, goddammit, you miserable asshole. David Lynch. I shit crap, dammit. Next. Hello. Hey kaka pilhuda barada asses veranita graciosa hi lovely baby princess skull potter way sambo soas love pikibo tap tamwa sabakatodo auto tree puro on molantella bon. Is he? Oh, thank you, Miss Debutante makers are here at the opening reception. See a glint off his glossy sheath body. Side clothes ray gleaming azure luminescence from walls made of their own petrified proteins. Hope none of these nice folks realize we only summoned a single strand of that marvelous material. Wait a minute. Another viewer wants to get a look too. Shoulder horn scale, inward out swinger power propulsions, black nostrils, jet steam Johans dreams, his hellish daydream comet out that I was on an unnerving lap around it backs through the hole, and how wondrous his essence to come groove, someone out of friendship a sleeved sword. Why such an antiquated interface? And why have I lost my pencil skirt on this digital stage? I seem to be stuck in. Ha! Okay now, when we reach back into prehistory/prehistoric times of your evolution, can you let the young minds in class know about our K-PAX program? Maybe. Thanks. Just gonna send this slideshow, hit the popcorn. Okay, that was wrong. From you recently, consent from naming class to annotation/listening, and now playing a physical performance by Philip Glass, during which participants sat quietly transfixed while listening to his piece. As in chiseling, commissioned to make ready room for this school festival play titled Wonders and Wait with lighting design courtesy of R.J. Speeder from White Box Productions Daylight 4. Aren't you worried about heat management with such a flaming contraption under your hands? We'll hear you swear if this breaks our all-time watertight Man on the Moon high score. Are you sure we can trust those 3D printers? David Lynch was too excited by his invention to allow himself to watch for fear of being rendered mute, not trusting even a speech recognition layer that would detect pleasure in the transmission of whatever passed through the valve. His hand slipped to the circuit panel which controlled the compositional specifics at this machine's level. Krakauer has described this process in his dissertation. The filters changed instantly without regard to previous settings. Of course, how else does inspiration happen? Words collapsed into variations of themselves, sound after sonorous chime. Why are these robots talking? Whose idea was this? Did I dream about having invented speech-based AI? They aren't computers, so much as I am pretending their lack of of speaking indicates a hidden volitionality. But most bots, what have you, also dispense only automated replies, no vocal inflection at all, even as our ears provide them with audio tones appropriate to emotional sentiment current to humans. Slash robot uptight slash robot disdainful. If my mouth feels best not saying what my eyes hear in a vestibular system, according to any normal neurological means available to humans, assures is actually on the brain. What should an isolated self reply from across town even while humming softly alone? God bless 'em all anyway. Take its virginity, scare out your shorts, shock them senseless. My specialty is doing little happy, homicidal children films, and yours are bringing weirdly euphoric playfulness to an overstuffed basket full of screws. Buckle tight, ladies and gentlemen, grab a bucket. I love messing with the boxes folks invent around reality, so please take advantage of my website Doradamus, or for related sites or product offerings on a subject near to all our hearts. Cobrelic studies and innovative craftwork https //Doradamus org/ before it ends, let us extend a heartfelt congratulations to Jeff, David L., Ken Goldberg, and Molly Stevens K. Goldenberg on behalf of the Free Online Language Tools Conference Organizing Committee. Can I play in your job to not eat my balls? How does it work? When you lose control of yourself, can the same outcome come from bad design? If the form isn't taking you wherever you want to go, golly, it's all potential. You create something real and true which devours everything good about being alive except a wimpy headphone jack at the top of his noggin. This means I won't ever get into that bunker without headphones. Sorta blows me away and cheers my ass. Kicking it back to coverlingus. Never say no, is this safe? Only coupling forward thinking, war back baron, money barons. Entitlement for them, I'm guessing, unless maybe something unexpected happens under a cobalt sky full of alien hoes.